shining the spotlight on the communities we love. It's time for the KMCH Hometown Tour.
We are shining the light on Elkader this week, and it is indeed my pleasure to be talking about the history of the community and the area. And I'll be honest, if you've not been to Elkader, you will be surprised at how many things are on the historical registry, are designated as historic sites, and are just, it's an amazing space that it shows the community has really taken hold of holding on to their heritage. One of the things that I really discovered and then rediscovered in my research here was the Keystone Bridge. I'm being joined by David Beck. David, would you call yourself a local historian?
Yes, I guess I would say that, sure.
Yeah. I was reading an article that you had that's on the city historical website and that you sent me. To get to that point, there was a whole lot of effort and a whole lot of, I don't want to say trial and error, but was it bridge number 3, bridge number 4 for that span of the Turkey River?
Sure. The first two were wooden structures. First one in 1850, finished in 1853. And then in 1861 was a second wooden bridge. The third was an iron truss bridge built in 1870, which then had deteriorated enough by 1888 that it was deemed unpassable.
Has anybody ever determined why that one? I mean, because it only lasted like 18 years.
Well, it was determined to be structurally insufficient. It sounded like from the beginning, Michael Scherge, an engineer from Dubuque, was called up to look at it, and he's the one that condemned it. And he said it was structurally insufficient really from the beginning. It did not take long to build, and so you kind of raise an eyebrow at 3 months' time to do it. The fact is, by 1888 in spring, it was condemned. So
now, of course, David and the city, and on our Hometown Tours website, you're going to find pictures of all of these bridges. Here they were. The third bridge, the Iron Truss Bridge, is said it was deteriorating. Who came up with the idea then of a stone bridge, and more precisely, the design of the Keystone Bridge?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, I believe it was the county supervisors who decided on stone because we've got such an abundance of it in this area. And if you go to other towns like Guttenberg as well, you're going to see quite a few stone structures. And so its durability was the primary thing. I think they were tired of replacing bridges every 20 years or so. Mm-hmm. So they had Michael Scherge design this, and then bids were let, and by June 30th of 1888, the bid was let to a company out of Dubuque called Byrne and Blake, and they were the ones that constructed it in a matter of 10 months and 2 weeks.
The final asking price was just a little over $16,000, is that right? But it weighs, did I read this right? Over 18.5 million pounds?
18,618,255 pounds.
Considering that it wrapped up in, 1889?
89, yeah.
And here it is, 2023, and
right.
Much of the structure, if not all of the structure, remains unchanged. I'm sure that, have they tuck pointed or done things like that over the years?
Tuck pointing, and there's some various supports, cable supports, primarily the tuck pointing, and but even over time, this will certainly take their toll. So,
yeah.
And that's what happened in this case.
But still, 20 years, 130
oh,
years.
Yeah.
Makes a lot of difference. This just
right.
One of the elements that really is worthy of a day trip up to Elkader to pay a visit to this Keystone Bridge. You could see the etchings on the corner of when it was laid into place, and just one of many structures out there. David, I'm sure, it doesn't do the city complete justice to focus just in on that when you've got the historic downtown area, you've got so many private homes that are on the historic register. It's a beautiful and well-kept community.
And those can all be seen if somebody were to accesses our City of Elkader website, or come and visit Elkader.
Indeed. David, thank you so much for this time. We look forward, and we're so glad to be able to start our tours this year in such an amazing city of Elkader.